So today we are going to
Yes.
begin with strain displacement relationships, and I have covered these relationships to a great detail in theory of plates and shells. Do you remember that, Raghav?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for sake of completeness, I am going to specify those relationships here, and we are going to have a quick revision of all the terms involved in it, and then we will proceed. I am not going to go into details of this. So let us consider there is a beam subjected to arbitrary loading and some support conditions, and we are focusing on, let us say, point A. Are you able to see my screen, Raghav?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so let us focus on point A. Through this point A, you are going to have infinite planes that can pass, but we are bothered about only state of stress and state of strain on three mutually orthogonal planes. So let us define coordinate system. Let us say this is X, let us say this is Y, and coming out of the plane of screen towards you is Z. This is the coordinate system. So we are going to focus on XY plane, YZ plane, and XZ plane passing through this point under consideration in this beam. Under the action of all these loads and by respecting the support conditions, it is going to deform. It is going to have certain values of shear and normal strains on these three mutually orthogonal planes that pass through point A. Do you agree with me, Raghav?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you tell me all the components of strain tensor at A? So if I were to write all the components of strain tensor, what are the components? Can you tell me that? What will be the first component?
Sigma X.
That is stress component. I am talking about strain
Sorry.
component.
Epsilon X.
Yeah. So we denote it by epsilon xx. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What is epsilon xx? At A, it is the normal stress that acts on the plane to which x-axis is perpendicular. So it acts on yz plane passing through point A. Am I very clear?
Yes, sir.
We know this notation. I have discussed this in theory of plates and shells. Then how this strain is related to displacement. So what are the various displacements that are possible at a point? Can you tell me, Raghav? What are the various displacements that are possible at point A? कौन से displacement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at point A, you can have x directional translation. We denote it by U. We can have y directional translation. We denote it by V. And we can have z directional translation. We denote it by W. Now you remember, Raghav?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So value of U, V and W at A needs to be specified. These are the various possible displacements at A. So at a point we have three displacements possible: U, V and W, X directional, Y directional and Z directional deformation or translation. Now can you tell me why not rotations? Why I did not consider theta about X axis, theta about Y axis and theta about Z axis? This is not to be considered at A. Why, Raghav? Okay. So can you, why we do not consider theta x, theta y and theta z? Can you tell me the reason? Okay, let me specify it. If you are considering a point, then point doesn't have any length, it doesn't have any width, it doesn't have any depth. So therefore, there is no possibility of rotation of point. The point can only translate. But when you consider two closely spaced points, let us say point A and point B, then we can talk about relative rotation of segment AB. So whenever we are talking about the segment joining the 2 points, then we can talk about its rotation about X, Y and Z axis. But when you are considering a point, you need to,
Yes.
so now if you specify U, V and W at A and B, automatically the rotation of this line segment gets specified. How? Let us say this is the original position of A, this is the original position of B, and this B moves in x direction by this distance and moves in y direction by this distance, and it assumes new position A dash. And let us say the point B moves in x direction by this amount, moves in y direction by this amount, and assumes the position B dash. So if you know x directional and y directional deformation, that is u and v at A and B, you can see the rotation of segment AB is automatically specified about z
Yes.
axis. Same is true for y, x and y axis. Do you understand this, Samay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Therefore, at a point, we are going to only specify translational deformations, and those are u, v, and w. Do you agree with me? And we don't specify theta x, theta y, and theta z. Now, can you tell me the relationship between epsilon xx, u, v, and w? Samay?
Da by u by da by x.
Yeah, so it is dou u by dou x. Partial differentiation of u, x directional deformation with reference to x, is epsilon xx at point A. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And there are certain terms which involve non-linearity. So we don't consider those terms. We are going to only consider linear strain displacement relationships in this course, because it is the introductory course in finite element analysis. We are going to deal with only linear strain displacement relations. Am I very clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you quickly tell me what is epsilon yy? Do you
Dou v by dou
dou
y.
v by dou y? Can you quickly tell me what is epsilon zz?
Dou w by dou z.
Dou w by dou z.
Dou z.
Am I right? Can you
Yes.
tell me what is shear strain gamma xy? So it is shear strain acting on yz plane passing through A, and it is acting in direction y. So how do I write
Da
this?
by u by da by y.
No. Daba. Oh, okay.
U
Daba u
by
by
da
daba.
by.
Okay, that's fine. So we will start with daba v by daba x, or dou v
Plus,
by dou
हाँ,
x, plus dou u
da
by
by u
dou.
by da by.
So can you write down uh, gamma yz? चलो बताओ. Dou v by dou
By
z
dou dz.
plus
And dou w by dou
dou
y.
w by dou y, right? Can you write
Yes.
down now gamma xz
Dou
dou
u
u
by dou z
by dou z plus
plus dou
dou
w
w
by dou x.
by dou x. Am I right?
Yes.
And what about gamma yx? It is same as gamma xy in absence of
Yes.
body
Equal
couples.
to.
Gamma yz, it is same as gamma zy, and gamma xz is same as gamma zx. So
Yes.
so we are just revising. We have just stated the relationships. The intricacies of it we have already learned in either solid mechanics of or theory of plates and chill.
Three
But
plates.
before closing this topic for discussion, I'm going to add a thing in this, and I'm going to represent this strain displacement linear relations in matrix form. So how do I write this in matrix form? Are you able to see the screen somewhere?
Yes, sir.
So let us write it in matrix form. Epsilon xx. So I will denote it by epsilon x simply. Epsilon y, epsilon z, gamma xy. Then you are going to have gamma yz and gamma xz. If I represent strain tensor at point A by a matrix, what is its size? It is 6 cross 1. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This must be equal to, I am going to relate it. All these quantities, mind you, they are calculated at A, point A. I am going to relate them with displacements u, v, w at point A. So what is the size of this matrix? 3 comma 1.
1.
Do you agree with me?
Yes.
And there is going to be another matrix which sits here. What should be its size so that I get the product as 6 cross 1? इसका साइज क्या होना चाहिए?
6 cross 3.
Yeah, I want
6 cross 3.
product to be 6 cross 1. Yes. So the size
Sir,
of
6 cross 3 होईल ना?
yes, it has to be 6 cross 3. Are you able to understand this?
Yes.
Yeah. So let me write this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you are going to have 3. This is how it looks. Am I right?
Yes.
Chalo. How do I write epsilon x? Epsilon x is dou u by dou x. So this is the matrix of differential operators. I'm going to simply say dou by dou x. 0, 0. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. Now, epsilon y. What should I write? Dou v
Dou
by
by
dou
dou
y.
y.
So
Yes.
it is
0.
0 dou by dou y,
Dou by dou.
0. What should I write here? Epsilon z. Epsilon z
Dou w
is
by
dou
dou
w.
z.
Yes. So it is 0, 0
0.
dou
Dou by
by
dou z.
dou z. Am I very clear?
Yes, sir.
Dou by dou z. What should I write here? Gamma xy is dou u by dou y. So I have to write here dou by dou y. And gamma xy in
Dou by
additional term is dou w,
dou v
sorry,
by
dou
dou.
v by dou x. So I have to
Yes.
write it as dou by
Dou
dou
by dou.
x. Are you with me? And third term will be
Yes.
0.
0.
What should I write here? Gamma yz. So gamma yz is
0.
0 here, dou by dou z here, dou
Yes.
by dou z here. And what should I write here?
Dou by
Dou
dou
by
y.
dou y. And in this case, it should be
Dou by dou z.
dou by dou z, then 0,
0.
and
Dou
then
by dou x.
dou by dou x. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the matrix representation of strain displacement relationship at a point in a strained material. Now, let me say I am describing this epsilon xx, epsilon yy as functions of xy and z. You give me the value of xyz coordinate and I will give you the value of epsilon xx, epsilon yy, epsilon zz, gamma xy, gamma yz and gamma xz. So can I call this as strain fields? Do you see the left hand side is a strain field? Are you able to
Yes.
understand what I'm trying? ये भी हमने discuss किया है. I will specify it. If I neglect a here, and if I just say these epsilon x to gamma xz are functions of xy and z and maybe t, then these are strain fields. Do you agree with me? Strain
Yes,
field.
sir.
And this is displacement field because u, v, w are also functions of x, y, z.
Yes, sir.
So strain field has been related to displacement field via a matrix that has only differential operators. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now I want to just bring your attention to one intricacy that we may have discussed in theory of plates and shells, but I want to make it explicit here. And that intricacy is you are calculating all the stress components, strain components at point A. Do you agree with me? सारे
Yes.
strain components कहाँ पे calculate कर रहे हो? On various planes that are passing through point A. A के जगह ही सब चल रहा है. लेकिन when you have to write epsilon xx, you have to look at rate of change of u about A. Do you agree with me? Differentiation का मतलब क्या है? You have to look at rate of change of x directional displacement in the neighborhood of A.
Yes.
है ना? So even though you are writing down the strain tensor at a point, you are ought to look at neighboring points to calculate this rate, dou u by dou x.
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Now look at the irony that we have in our hand. Epsilon xx is defined as strain on yz plane passing through a point under consideration. It is at a point quantity, but it depends upon how x directional deformation varies in the neighborhood of A. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
If u varies as a cubic function of x in the neighborhood of A, then epsilon xx will vary as the square function of x.
Huh.
If u varies as logarithmic function of x in the neighborhood of a, epsilon xx will vary as the inverse function of x.
Inverse. Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है? So
Yes.
therefore, in the neighborhood of A, how U is varying, how V is varying, and how W is varying is crucial to calculate state of strain at point A. मतलब
Yes.
कैलकुलेट तो कर रहे हो एट ए पॉइंट ए, बट आप नेबरहुड में जो हो रहा है उसको निग्लेक्ट नहीं कर सकते. समझ में आ
Yes.
रहा है? If you are talking about the stability of India, you cannot neglect the stability of other neighboring countries. वैसे ही है. Unless
Okay.
you don't know how U varies in the neighborhood of A, you cannot talk about the strain at point A. I think I am very clear.
Yes.
Now we will close this discussion at this point. You have to only keep in mind that strain field is related to displacement field via matrix of differential operators. Am I very clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now we are going to deviate. Actually, we are trying to come up with the basics that are required for finite element formulation of a generalized problem. So now next concept in line is potential energy. And I'm going to dwell on your knowledge about potential energy. So let me first ask you, what do you understand by potential energy?
Energy,
Pardon?
stored energy, the energy
Stored
which is stored.
energy that he says. He says potential energy is the stored energy. Okay. Now let us say this is a ball on which there is force F which is acting. Under the action of this force F, the ball doesn't deform. It simply moves from this point to this point. Samay, can you tell me what is the energy stored in the ball in this movement? Samay?
Huh.
Samay?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
The object is just moved from one place to other under the action of force F. It doesn't deform. It moves as a rigid body. What is the energy stored?
0.
So is potential energy involved in this situation 0?
No.
Okay, so now Rishabh, can you comment on this? Will your definition hold here? Rishabh?
No, sir.
Yeah, so we understand that potential energy is definitely not stored energy, not only stored energy. Okay, anyone else? Samay? Can you tell me what do you understand by potential energy? Let it be wrong, just tell me.
Energy held by an object because of its position.
Okay, that's just merely the words that are put together. Can you give an example?
If I
Hmm.
pull arrow on the bow,
Okay,
before its release, potential energy is there. I guess.
this is the arrow.
Huh.
You pull it,
Yeah.
and therefore it has potential energy. That's what is your
Before release.
argument?
Huh.
So tell me, how much potential energy does it have?
The displacement.
Delta. Okay.
And the
Yes.
force, matlab, by which the string is pulled.
So that force into this delta is the potential energy associated with what? Okay. This example is okay, but still it doesn't clarify what exactly is the potential energy. So these two examples raise few of the points that I'm going to write down in the background. चलो बैकग्राउंड में ये पॉइंट्स लिख लेते हैं. What is the first thing that was tossed? Stored energy. Second, so what should I write? Samay. Energy with the body on virtue of its position. ऐसे ही बोला था ना आपने समय.
हाँ.
Yes, that is the second part. This gives rise to the question, two questions. This potential energy is associated with whom? It is associated with whom? And it is the energy stored where? Do you agree with me? These questions will emerge. Samay?
Okay.
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 Anyone else? Now, Yash, what do you know about potential energy?
Sir, when water tank is at higher level, for water flows downward.
Okay, so let us not talk about water. Let us talk about stone. Similar example. You have a
Yes.
stone piece here, and it is at distance h from ground surface. So you are saying that it has potential energy. Am I right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
And how much is the potential energy?
This is according to height. As high as the stone is, the
So I
higher
have
is the potential
height is
energy.
h. If height is h, what is the potential energy?
I don't know, sir. H.
H. Aage? Okay, can anyone else build on this? Maybe
mgh.
mgh. Okay, mgh is potential energy. Very good. Now, just I'm going to do a thought experiment. Its potential energy is mgh. I change my reference. My reference is somewhere here. This is the reference. And from this reference, the stone is at distance y. What is the potential energy of stone with reference to a new reference?
mgy.
Plus
mg
h. Y plus h.
y minus h नहीं रे.
Y plus h.
No, h का कोई लेना देना नहीं रहेगा.
gy.
हाँ, so mg y, but sign negative.
Minus.
I am dwelling on whatever you know from 11th standard physics or from structural analysis 1, 2, जो आपको पता है applied mechanics, वो मैं लिख रहा हूँ इधर. And now I am going to raise serious question. Potential energy, how the hell is it changing when I change the reference? Doesn't this question bother you? So third question that I am going to write, if I change the reference, change of reference, how the hell potential energy is changing? समझ में आ रहा है? There is often another definition of potential energy which is tossed. So anyone else, can you tell me, do you have any other definition of potential energy? Manjushri.
Sir, it is the amount of energy which body possess.
Okay, so it is the amount of energy. Now he has not said anything about stored or released. He says energy that body possess. So he has tossed another word, that is energy possessed by the body. Okay, and how do you measure that? How do you know how much energy do you have?
Sir, it differs from body to body.
That's true, but you know your body. So you tell me how much energy do you have? So do you understand? So when it comes to quantification, you are going to be in trouble with this definition. Am I
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So with all these discussions, this is just generally the scenario. We toss definitions. I will toss the definitions that are typically given in the book. One, potential energy is potential to do work. Have you heard this definition, Samay? Samay,
Sir.
have you heard this
Hello.
definition? Many books specify potential energy is capacity to do work.
Yes, sir.
है ना? But कुछ फायदा नहीं, ये सब पोपटपंची है. Unless you understand it, these are only words. You cannot quantify. Okay. Second is the second definition is energy associated with the body on virtue of its position. ये एक है. तीसरा definition है energy stored in the body, but to be precise, you have learned that energy stored in the body is called as strain energy and not potential energy. But yes, some of the texts also refer strain energy as potential energy. My bad, but they refer it. Now, so all this jugglery about potential energy, let us try to clear it once and for all, because minimization of potential energy is going to be the basic principle of linear elastic finite element method. So let me try and give you the glimpses of what exactly potential energy is. Just a minute. So are you able to see my screen somewhere?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And now keep your mic on. I want constant interaction. Now,
Okay.
let us consider a thought experiment. What is the thought experiment? In event 1 of that thought experiment, a body from this position slides down this slope under its own weight and assumes this position. It comes to this position. So at time t equal to t1, the body was here. At time t equal to t2, the body is here. Are you able to understand what I am trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And let us say this surface is smooth surface. ये surface कैसा है? Frictionless or smooth surface. The moment I say this, what am I trying to neglect? बताओ.
Friction.
So I am neglecting friction. Good. So a body which has mass m travels or descends along the slope from time t1 to t2 under the action of gravity and assumes this position at time t equal to t2. And let us say I am going to consider this line as a reference line. Where is it? It may be mean sea level. It's all right. समझ में आ रहा है?
Okay.
So this is my reference. With reference to this mean sea level or whatever datum that I have chosen, whatever benchmark that I have chosen, the height at time t equal to t1 is h1. कितना
Yes.
height है? h1. And
H1.
height at t equal to t2 is h2.
Yes.
It's not a very difficult thought experiment to perform. I think you have understood this experiment. Now, let us go back to another thought experiment, which we will be simultaneously performing, where we are not going to change the reference. Reference वही है.
Same.
You can change it, but then it will cause too much of confusion. So I don't want to change it. Let us say the reference is same sea level, whatever you have considered. And instead of this descent, the trajectory, let us say after 50 years, becomes like this. This is the downhill trajectory. It becomes like this. The object is released from t equal to t1, descends down this slope and ascends up. And it again assumes the position h2.
Okay.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
Now to make this more easy, let me do certain modification for first case. 1 minute. Instead of having this slope, let us say the slope is linear. That
Okay.
means the body goes directly here. Don't mind my drawing. Let us say this is the line along which the body descends. And it achieves position h2 directly. From h1 to h2, it descends along a linear slope. While here, it follows a curved path. But at time t equal to t2, it has again reached, or time t equal to t3, let us say, it has again reached this position. This is h1. And now I want you guys to tell me what is the work done by all the forces acting on a body while the body moves from h1 to h2. That, let us call this as position number 1 and let us call this as position number 2. Position number 1 and 2 is same in both the cases. I want you guys to tell me what is the work done by all the forces acting on a body when it moves from position 1 to position 2 in first case. So let me call this as case 1. Samay. Let us say the body is somewhere here. What are the different forces that act on the body? Can you tell me? कौन से forces act हो रहे हैं? Gravitational force, and how much is that mg?
Yes.
Acting downwards. सही है?
Yes.
और कौन सा force act हो रहा है? ये normal reaction. सही है ना?
Yes.
And will there be frictional force? No, because surface is smooth. I am intelligent. मैंने ऐसे ही प्रॉब्लम लिया है जिसमें दिक्कत ना हो.
हाँ.
समझ में आ रहा है? So friction तो है नहीं. Only normal reaction है. And mg है. समझ में आ रहा है? Now I am going to ask you simple questions. How do you write work done? Work done is force multiplied by distance in the direction of the force. सही है कि नहीं?
Yes.
How do we denote work done? We denote work done by letter capital U. Work done as the body moves from position number 1 to 2 is equal to, इस body के ऊपर दो forces है. Throughout its descent, only those two forces were acting. Mass was not changing, so mg was constant. And normal reaction may change or may not change. That depends upon whether it is linear or non-linear. Shape along which it descends, whether it is linear or non-linear, उसके हिसाब से normal reaction change होगा या नहीं होगा. अब जरा मुझे बताओ, as the body moves from 1 to 2, does mg do work? Gravitational force कुछ काम करता है या नहीं करता है? समय
करता है ना.
And how much is the work done by gravitational force?
mg into h1 minus h2.
Right.
Because
So mg into deformation in the direction of mg, that is h1 minus h2, is the work done by gravitational force. Should it be positive or negative? कुछ नहीं है. If the body displaces in the direction of the force, the work done is positive.
Okay.
If the
Positive.
body displaces against the direction of the force, work done is negative. So this work, as the body displaces in the direction of mg, is positive. सही है? Yeah. What is the other force that is acting on the body as it descends from position number 1 to 2? Normal reaction. Do you agree with me? As the body descends from here to here, is it moving transverse to normal reaction? Always?
Yes, sir.
So normal reaction के direction में तो वो move हो ही नहीं रहा है. Are you able to understand this?
हाँ, नहीं हो रहा है.
Therefore, normal reaction n will do zero work. N into 0. What is the work done when moon revolves around the earth? 0, because it travels in the direction perpendicular to gravitational force of attraction between earth and moon. है कि नहीं?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Therefore, as the trajectory is always going to be perpendicular to normal reaction does not do any work. Samay, do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, the total work done by all, is there any other force that is acting on a body as it moves from 1 to 2? No, there is no other force. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, work done by all the forces acting on a body when it moves from 1 to 2 is only mg into h1 minus h2. Only gravitational force does the work. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Akash?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now let us come to the second situation. चलो अब यहाँ पे आते हैं जरा. And let me say this lowest point is with height h3. कितना height है इसका?
3.
And what is h3? h3 is the point where descent has been completed and ascent has started.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me? Okay. Now, let us call this position as position number 3.
Yes, sir.
इसको क्या बोला हमने? Position number 3 बोला है. Now, can you tell me what is the total work done as the body moves from 1 to 2? Will it be the sum of work done as the body moves from 1 to 3 plus as the body moves from 3 to 1?
Yes, sir. But that
Sorry,
energy is in
3 to 1.
different, so signs would be changed, na?
Time will change. Time has nothing to do with the energy. That has to
Sign,
do.
sir. Sign.
That we will write. That we will write. But do you agree with this? See, the object first
Yes.
moves from 1 to 3 and then moves from 3 to 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So work done by all the forces acting on body when it moves from position number 1 to 3 plus work done by all the forces acting on a body when it moves from 3 to 2. This summation should give me work done by all the forces while the body moves from 1 to 2. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now, can you tell me what is work done as the body moves from 1 to 3?
Sir, 3, it is going downward with gravitational force.
Yes. So what is the work done? Plus mg into h1 minus h3. Do you agree with me?
Okay.
Do you agree with me? The way we have written here, we are just following the same thing here. Agreed?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. What is the work done by normal reaction? Even though it transcends along a curve, normal reaction is always going to be in radial direction or in the direction perpendicular to the tangential direction, and therefore it is not going to perform any work. Do you agree with me? So therefore work done by normal reaction is still going to be 0 and only gravitational force is going to do the work. Now can you tell me work done as the object moves from 3 to 2? बताओ.
mg h3 plus h2.
mg
h3
बोलो.
plus h2. h3 plus h2.
No, h2 minus h3.
Okay.
h2 minus h3. Do you agree with me? h2 minus h3 is positive. mg is also positive, but we have to assign negative sign here because work is done against gravity.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me what is work done from as the object moves from 1 to 2. Summation of these two. So I will write it as mg h1 minus mg h3. Do you agree with me? Akash.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And then this terms minus mgh2 plus mgh3. Agreed? And what do you observe?
The total work done from 1 to 2.
mgh3 and mgh3 will get cancelled out, and work
Yes,
done
sir.
work done from 1 to 2
Yes,
even in second case
Yes, sir.
will be equal to plus mg h1 minus h2.
Yes,
Agreed?
sir.
Is it same as this?
Yes.
तो अब जरा मुझे बताओ, what is your conclusion from this exercise?
No, sir. There was not confusion. I was not getting it. Just
No,
I
not
was
confusion.
clear.
No, not confusion. I am asking now, what is the conclusion from this exercise?
mg into h1 minus h2 is the total work done, and the normal work done is 0 in the normal direction as
No,
the in action, the work is not yet done.
Yes,
In
but
gravitational,
there is even bigger picture to this. Samay, can you now conclude? What is the conclusion from this exercise? Samay?
Yes, sir. Initial
Yes.
and initial position and final position are fixed. Then the
So can you?
potential energy is not changing.
No, we have not yet touched the term potential energy. We are talking about work done.
Energy, work done is not changed.
So just have a look at the statement that I am making. If the body is moving only under gravity, that does the work. देखो statement देखो. If body is moving only under gravity, that does work, then the work done in moving the object from position number 1 to position number 2 by gravitational force is independent of the path followed by the object.
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ रहा है? It only depends upon initial and final position. You follow it by any path. This 1 to 2 would have been reached by any fancy path. It can be like this. It can be like this. Follow any path. As long as the body moves from 1 to 2 under the action of gravitational force, let it follow any path. The work done by gravitational force is constant, and it depends only on initial and final position of the particle, and that is given by mg h1 minus mg h2, where h1 and h2 are initial and final positions with reference to a chosen reference. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो अब जरा देखो, मुझे लिखना था किससे चालू किया है मैंने, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी से चालू किया, लेकिन हम we derailed and we suddenly started discussing work done. But there is a striking observation that I see. If the work is done only by the gravitational force, then that work done on the body depends only on initial and final position. And I can write that work done by gravitational force as, देखो कैसे लिख रहा हूं, quantity mgh1 associated with the initial position minus quantity mgh2 associated with the final position. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
अब ऐसे जो फोर्सेस है, ऐसे सारे फोर्सेस जिनमें वर्क डन इज ओनली डिपेंडेंट अपॉन द इनिशियल एंड फाइनल पोजीशन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन assumed by the body, and it is independent on the path through which that configuration is achieved, ऐसे सारे फोर्सेस को हम बोलते हैं कंजर्वेटिव फोर्सेस. क्या बोलते हैं?
Conservative forces.
What is conservation? What do you mean by energy conservation? You will not allow the energy to change if you want to conserve it. That means you will try to minimize the change as far as possible. तो हम उसको बोलेंगे conservative. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
When you call certain family as conservative, what do you mean? They will try to preserve their traditions. समझ में आ रहा है? So something that refuses to change, like rigid, we are going to call it as conservative. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
अब जरा देखो conservative in this technical context. Any force in which the work done is conserved, work done in moving from position number 1 to position number 2 is conserved, irrespective of the path followed. We are going to call that force as conservative force. समझ में आ रहा है? So can I define now, for my convenience, mathematically, the potential energy associated with the body at any position as m g h, and this is the potential energy associated with gravitational force. So I am going to write it as vg.
Yes.
देखो क्या कर रहा हूं, मेरे मैथमेटिकल कन्वीनियंस के लिए अब मैं एक ऐसा हाइपोथेटिकल टर्म डिफाइन कर रहा हूं जिसको मैं बोलूंगा पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. लेकिन पोटेंशियल एनर्जी को सिर्फ पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इस वर्ड को कोई मीनिंग है ही नहीं. यू हैव टू से विथ विच कंजर्वेटिव फोर्स आर यू डिफाइनिंग पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. आर यू डिफाइनिंग पोटेंशियल एनर्जी? यू कैन डिफाइन पोटेंशियल एनर्जी ओनली फॉर कंजर्वेटिव फोर्सेस. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
समय, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So we are going to now define potential energy with a conservative force, gravity. So we denote it by symbol V superscript G. Potential energy associated with gravitational force has a form mgh. What is mgh? H is object with reference to a chosen reference. If the object lies above the reference, it is positive. If the object lies below the reference, it is negative. Am I very clear?
Yes.
This is the definition of potential energy. Now I can write down work done in moving the object from 1 to 2 by gravitational force as potential energy associated with gravitational force at position number 1 minus potential energy associated with the gravitational force at position number 2. Can I write it this way? देखो,
Yes.
and we are not interested in the value of potential energy. अरे उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है, हम उससे कुछ नहीं कहेंगे. We are interested in finding out work done. Work done is a physical quantity. Do you understand?
Yes,
तो
sir.
हमें work done due to gravitational force में interest है. वो define करने के लिए stepping stone is defining potential energy associated with gravitational force.
Yes, sir.
अब जरा देखो, what if I change the reference? चलो अब रेफरेंस चेंज करके देखते हैं. जस्ट ए मिनट. अरे कहाँ है कर्सर? Even cursor has a potential energy to trouble you. Anyway, now let us try and change the position. Reference is now being shifted by amount delta H. So अब क्या होगा? ये सारे क्वांटिटीज में H1 के जगह H1 plus delta H होगा, H3 के जगह H3 plus delta H होगा. But will work done change?
No.
No, the delta H will get cancelled throughout.
Yes.
So therefore, more meaningful quantity is physical quantity, that is work done. It is independent of what
Same.
reference you choose. समझ में आ रहा है? So
Yes.
we are more concerned about the work done by gravitational force in moving from position number 1 to 2. जो कि ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स एक कंजर्वेटिव फोर्स है, तो हम वो वर्क डन ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स के पोटेंशियल एनर्जी के टर्म्स में लिख सकते हैं. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
So you choose any reference. This potential energies at position number 1 and 2 due to gravitational force V1g and V2g will change, but work done in moving from 1 to 2 due to gravitational force will remain unchanged.
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
हेलो. हाँ, तो
Yes,
अब
sir.
जरा मुझे बताओ, how do we define potential energy is the question now. Potential energy is defined only for conservative force. Point number 1. It is just a mathematical definition of potential, mathematical definition to calculate work done by that force in moving the object from position number 1 to 2. Therefore, if you change the reference, potential energy is amenable to change. We are hardly bothered about the exact value of potential energy because it is reference dependent. But we are bothered about the change in potential energy because it talks about absolute quantity, that is work done. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
ये सारे रिमार्क्स इंपॉर्टेंट है. अब हम कल के क्लास में क्या करेंगे? तो फॉर स्प्रिंग फोर्स वी आर गोइंग टू डिफाइन, जैसे आपने एरो का एग्जांपल दिया था समय, उसमें भी स्प्रिंग एक्शन इज इन्वॉल्व. सो स्प्रिंग और इलास्टिक फोर्स के लिए क्या वो कंजर्वेटिव है कि नहीं, वो पहले देखेंगे. वो अगर कंजर्वेटिव है तो उसके लिए पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का क्या फॉर्म है? जैसे इधर mgh है, दैट इज ग्रेविटेशनल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी.
Yes.
Elastic force के लिए what is the form of potential energy? We will derive that in the next class. Then we will look at friction and we will see that friction is non-conservational force, non-conservative force. So you will never have potential energy defined with the friction.
Yes, sir.
So in the start of this course, we are going to only deal with the systems subjected to conservative forces, gravitational and spring forces. And for them, we are going to derive the FEM formulation based on minimization of potential energy. If non-conservative forces are involved, like contact forces or frictional forces, we have separate APM formulation that we will talk about in the last part of this course. समझ में आ रहा है?
Okay.
Okay, so let us stop here today. We will meet tomorrow again. Thank you.